guys, so for today's video I thought it would be fun to go over some pets that I would like to own in the future. This has been kind of a trend on YouTube in the pet community lately, and I definitely wanted to hop on this one because there are a lot of pets that I do want to own sometime. I want to start this video by saying just because I mention all these animals in this video doesn't mean I'll ever actually own them. I'm sure a lot of these I'll never own, and even if I do get them, I don't have any immediate plans to go out and get any of these animals, so it could be years down the road. But I thought it would be a really fun video to do just to kind of tell you guys some animals that I'd love to own and why. Before we get into this video, you don't have to adjust your screen or anything. I am this red. I got extremely sunburnt today because even though I'm extremely white, I never learn and I don't put on sunscreen. So yes, I'm extremely sunburnt. Let's get into the video. So before I tell you the animals I'd want to own, I think I have 8 of them here on my list. I do want to thank today's sponsor. This video is actually sponsored by Levoit. You guys probably have heard of them. I have worked with them in the past, so they were nice enough to send out an amazing air purifier for me to test out. I have been using it for about 2 to 3 weeks now, and I absolutely love it. When you own a lot of pets, it's really important to have nice air quality, so having an air purifier is something I always recommend, and this one is doing an amazing job. So I will actually link it in my description. You can get it on Amazon. They do have a lot of different models, but I will link the specific model that you're seeing in this video in case you're interested in picking it up. So I have to say, my favorite thing about this air purifier specifically is it is so quiet. I just have it on the automatic setting. You can change the speed manually, or if you're like me, you can just press the automatic button and it will sense how high it needs to be. And this thing is whisper quiet, so if it's in your bedroom or something and you don't want a lot of noise, you don't have to worry about that at all. This specific model is actually one of their larger models, and it purifies up to 538 square feet of space. So if you have a really big pet room, which we could all hope for one day, or you just want to put it in like a family room or a living room, you can use this air purifier in a very large space, and it's going to do a great job getting the job done. So if you're like me, you can just put it on automatic and let it do its thing, but if you want a little bit more control, you can definitely do that too. The air purifier has 3 fan speeds, so you can put it on low, medium, or high. It also has a sleep mode, which I don't know how it would get even quieter than it already is, but there is a sleep mode that makes it even quieter. And you can also put it on a timer. You can put it on a 1 to 12 hour timer. So if you just want it on maybe while you're at work or at school, or maybe when you're sleeping, you can set a timer so it will automatically turn off and on when you want. So that was just a quick look at the air purifier I'm currently using from Levoit. Thank you again, Levoit, for the air purifier and for sponsoring this video. Like I said, it will be linked down in my description if you want to go check it out on Amazon and pick one up for yourself. So let's get into some pets I want to own in the future. I think I have 8 different animals on this list. Like I said, I'm not getting all of them anytime soon. I probably won't ever own all of them, but these are just some animals that from what I've seen, I absolutely love. Of course, before I committed to any of these, I would have to do a lot more research to make sure they were going to be a good fit, but from what I've seen in my interactions with them so far, these are definitely animals I'd be interested in learning some more about. So the first animal on my list is dart frogs. I love dart frogs. I'm not sure what specific dart frog I want. Maybe the Patricias, because they are so cute with their blue and yellow. I've done quite a bit of research on dart frogs. They're probably one of the animals on this list that I've actually researched the most. And although I want them one day, I'm definitely not prepared at all because dart frogs seem pretty intimidating to me, I'm not gonna lie. I do have a little bit of experience with bioactive setups. My gargoyle gecko Pickle is in one right now, but for me, I feel like I would need a lot more bioactive experience before I committed to getting dart frogs because they do really great in like beautiful lush landscapes, and that is not something I think I could do right now. Also, dart frogs eat a whole different food source than I have, so you have to keep flightless fruit flies on hand, which you can culture them yourself, but that's just a whole nother food source. So that is another reason I don't feel like I'm ready for them right now, but dart frogs, one day I will own them. The next animal on this list that I want to own in the future is actually the only animal that I have owned before, and that is a boxer. If you've been around on my channel for many years, you would know that I actually owned a boxer in college. I'm not going to get into a lot of detail because it is a pretty sad story. I don't think I ever went into a lot of detail on my channel because it's just not something I like to talk about. But I did adopt a boxer back in college, and there was a pretty bad accident, and unfortunately she didn't make it. But boxers are one of my dream dogs. She was amazing. Her name was Emma, and I would love to own a boxer again someday. Maybe when Ellie and Steve are gone, I will look into a boxer. Hopefully that's many years from now. But I definitely want to own a boxer. Like, there's just little squishy faces are the cutest things ever. So that is the only animal on this list that I have owned in the past, but I would really like to own again in the future. The third animal on this list is realistically the animal I would probably get the soonest, and that is a fat tail gecko. If you don't know what they look like, I'll put up a picture of one right here. Some people actually confuse them for leopard geckos because they do look extremely similar, but their care is quite a bit different. They need a lot more humidity than a leopard gecko would, but they do look pretty similar, which is why I think I'm so attracted to them. They are the cutest little things ever. They're not too common around me. A lot of the times when I see them at expos here, they are wild caught, and you can tell because they don't look great. But at the last expo I was at, there was a breeder there who usually has like leopard geckos and crested geckos. It's actually the breeder I got Felipe from. He had some fat tail geckos and they looked amazing, and he did say they were captive bred. So I do know there is at least one breeder around me that is starting to breed them. So hopefully in the future I will be able to get a nice captive bred one. Like I said, realistically this is probably the animal on the list that I will have next. The fourth animal on this list is one I get asked about quite a bit, and I really want them someday. Hopefully one day I will be ready for them and I'll have the time and everything. Now is just definitely not the time for that, but I would love to own rats. Rats are one of the cutest small pets there are. I know a lot of people really dislike rats because they think they're dirty or their tails are gross, but rats are so smart and just adorable, and I would love to own them one day. I have a double critter nation just like sitting in my basement waiting, but right now I definitely don't have the time to get them out every day like I should. Rats need a ton of human interaction, and with my job and my dogs and all my other pets, I just don't think they would be an animal that fits into my life right now. But hopefully in the future I will own a couple rats. My battery is flashing that it's gonna die, so I'm gonna try to speed this up a little bit. Number 5 on my list is an animal that's not too common, but if you follow Tori here on YouTube, I'm sure you've heard of it, and that is a tinrick. I actually met Finn, her tinrick, when I went to Ohio, and I absolutely fell in love with him. They're not too common, like I said. They kind of look like hedgehogs even though they're not related, but they are the cutest. This is an animal that I don't know near enough about to say I would definitely get one day. I would need to do so much more research before I could even make up my mind on that, but just from what I've seen, I definitely would keep a tinrick in mind in the future. The number 6 pet on my list is another one that looks like leopard geckos. Basically, I just want to own all the leopard geckos, and that is a western banded gecko. If you haven't seen these, once again, I'll put a picture on the screen. They look like miniature leopard geckos. Of course, their care is a lot different, and they're another animal that I would have to do way more research on before I would decide to get one. But just like look at them. They're like baby leopard geckos forever, and they're definitely an animal that I would be interested in doing more research in and maybe getting in the future. And the last 2 pets on my list that I would like to own in the future are actually 2 different types of frogs. So far, the only type of frog that I've ever owned is a Pac-Man frog, but I have 3 different types of frogs on this list, so there's something I really should look into more. The first is a tomato frog, and the second is a White's tree frog, or also known as a dumpy frog. These guys are just so cute. Realistically, I think I'd probably go with the tomato frog first, but let's be honest, who could resist either of those dumb little faces? I do really enjoy frogs because they're more of a look, don't touch type of pet. You do need to be hands off with them because it's not healthy to be handling them all the time or anything. So they're an animal that fits in really well with my lifestyle. So either a tomato frog or a dumpy frog. Both of these are an animal I would definitely be interested in owning. So I think that's it. I think I went over 8 different pets I would like to own in the future. Like I said at the beginning of the video, but I just want a disclaimer again. Just because I say I want to own these pets doesn't mean I'm getting them today, next week, or even in the next like 10 years. Some of these animals I'm sure I will never own. These are just animals that from my little bits of research I have done seem like animals I would really enjoy. And even if I don't own them myself, I'm still going to appreciate all of them and just watch them on the internet and live vicariously through YouTube. So hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing some animals that I personally love. Let me know down in the comments, what are 3 animals that you haven't ever owned that you would love to own in the future. Once again, a huge thanks to Levoit for sponsoring this video. If you want to check out the air purifier that I showed at the beginning, I will link it to Amazon down in the description. But that is going to be it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time.